Startpage.com, web search with total privacy.
Is America the land of the free and the home of the brave, or the land of the sheep and the home of the slaves? We are only days away from the 235th anniversary of the shots that rang out at Lexington and Concord, the shots that secured the blessings of liberty for ourselves and our posterity. But for the past 100 years, a reckless economic beast known as the Federal Reserve has worked hand in hand with the international banking elite to rob the American people of our wealth. And now, in the halls of Congress, a new bill aims to lock each American into a biometric database to prove you can work in America. For years, the conservative right has begged the establishment to secure our border and crack down on illegal workers. Well, now the liberal left is going to grant you that wish. Step right up and get your retina scanned so we can enroll you into the new U.S. workers system. They are on the move faster than ever before, working to take your right to own guns, working to steal your wealth, and working to force you to buy health insurance, and working to lock you down in a biometric workers program. As Dorothy Thompson said, when liberty is taken away by force, it can be restored by force. When it is relinquished voluntarily by default, it can never be recovered. My name is Gary Franchi, and you're watching The Reality Report. Welcome back to The Reality Report. Let's go to Nina Police in the newsroom for today's headlines. Nina?
Thank you, Gary. There's a new immigration plan taking shape in the Senate, but it seems like more of the same. This new bill will require all U.S. workers, immigrants and citizens alike, to keep a biometric ID card which would have embedded information on it like your fingerprints. While this is an effort to limit the hiring of illegal immigrants, it will most certainly be exploited to limit the personal freedoms of each and every American. And H.R. 633 is gaining support in Idaho. This bill would allow for local citizens to pay state taxes with silver state medallions. This would not only replace the federal greenbacks, but it would also bring jobs back to the state, as the silver would be mined, processed, and minted all within the Idaho borders. State reps also want to give the people of Idaho another way to store their wealth that complies with the Constitution and is immune from the effects of inflation. A federal appeals court in Seattle last week defended the actions of 3 police officers who used a stun gun to arrest a 7-month pregnant woman. The incident took place outside of Seattle's African American Academy in 2004 when Malika Brooks was pulled over for speeding in a school zone. When she refused to sign the speeding ticket and exit her vehicle, the officers stunned her in the shoulder, neck, and thigh before placing her under arrest. Certainly both sides are at fault here, but in no situation should police brandish a stun gun on a woman who is pregnant. A more peaceful solution has to be met. Brooks did give birth to a healthy baby 2 months later. And finally, the Fortress is coming. The March edition of Homeland Security Today featured an updated report on the new $3.4 billion Homeland Security quarters in Washington. The 4.5 million square foot compound features more than 70 buildings packed in a dense forest about 5 miles away from the Capitol building. The facility, which is designed to be one of the most state-of-the-art security buildings ever constructed, is being built on the grounds of an abandoned insane asylum and is scheduled to open in 2012. Those are today's headlines. I'm Nina Police. Gary?
Thank you, Nina. We've received a lot of emails from viewers asking us to look into the validity of Barack Obama's birth certificate. First Lady Michelle Obama didn't help their cause. In a video which surfaced this week from a 2008 speech, the First Lady announced that Kenya, Africa, was Barack's home country. Take a look.
Barack has led by example. When we took our trip to Africa and visited his home country in Kenya.
Was it a slip of the tongue, a Freudian slip, or are we making something out of nothing? Lawyer Arlie Tates has filed numerous lawsuits against Obama in an effort to find his true birthplace. In our exclusive interview, she explains one of the many reasons why Barack is not a U.S. citizen.
Barack Hussein Obama's father was never a U.S. citizen. He came here on a student visa from Kenya, and therefore, at the time of Obama's birth, he had British citizenship since Kenya was a British colony. So based on that fact alone, he has allegiance to 3 other nations. He has citizenship of 3 other nations, and therefore, due to his split allegiance and multiple citizenships, he does not qualify as natural-born citizen.
Now, earlier today, we sat down with Dudley Brown, the director of the National Gun Rights Association, to detail how the UN Small Arms Treaty is a threat to America.
You people have too much freedom in America, and so the way to stop small arms trafficking is for us to restrict your freedoms.
Remember, you can watch the entire interview with both Dudley and Onli by visiting realityreport.tv or by clicking the link in the show description. Now it is time for this week's Picture of the Week. Support choice. Young lady holding a cell phone with 911 on it and a gun. Which would you rather have in a time of crisis? Only you have to make that decision. All right, remember, we can't do this show without your support. Show us you care and pledge $10 by texting RTR space 10 to 95495. Okay, now it's time for my favorite part of the show, where we look into the mailbag. Our first email this week comes from Don, and he writes, I'm gravely concerned for the state of our union. I see the chameleons changing their spots, getting ready for November elections. I want to be more proactive in doing something to change it, and I just don't know how. Well, the key, Don, is organizing for action and using the right tools for the job. If you haven't formed a local group on restoretherepublic.net, you need to do so. Stand up and be a leader. Now, once your group is formed, reach out to others on the site who are in your state. Send them messages, invite them to your first event, host a screening of a film, hold a magazine discussion group, then pinpoint a local candidate who you can believe in. If you can't find one, then you need to run one from your group. Next, Andrew in South Korea writes, thanks for you and your staff's wonderful journalism. I think the West is waking up to what these fools in our governments believe they can get away with. Andrew, America is waking up, and we are hard at work every day bypassing the media with this show. Thank you for carrying the light of liberty in South Korea. And lastly, Matt in Iowa writes, I just wanted to say good job with the reality reports. They have a much better feel with a co-anchor. Nice work. Well, thanks, Matt. Quite frankly, I'm sure everyone was getting tired of seeing me run my mouth on every show, and it was time to balance it out. And bringing Nina on the show was made possible by the generous support of viewers like you. Do you want to send us some show feedback that could get right on the air? Well, send an email to feedback@freedom.tv. Include your name and town and whatever you feel, because it just may end up on the show. Now, this is the moment you've been waiting for. Who is this week's enemy of the state?
In the Constitution.
We are going to... I don't worry about the Constitution on this, to be honest.
That's my... Well, that's right. Jackpot, brother.
Oh, keep what I care more about the people that are dying every day that don't have health care.
You care more about that than the U.S. Constitution that you swore to uphold.
I believe that it says we have the right to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness.
Okay.
Tell me...
Declaration of Independence.
It doesn't matter to me. Well, either one.
We know it does. It clearly doesn't matter to you. It's so clear that it doesn't matter to you.
Oh, Phil Hare, yes, the Democrat from the district, 17th district of Illinois. You made it too easy for us. And you took an oath you swore an oath to uphold and defend the Constitution of the United States. What's your problem, man? You're this week's enemy of the state. Anyway, thank you for joining me on this edition of the Reality Report. Please support the message of the independent media by forwarding this video to your friends, family, and coworkers. And remember to follow us on Twitter and Facebook. I'm Gary Franchi. And remember, I am not here to make you a follower. I'm here to make you a leader among the people. Good night.